man. So how did you get into hip hop? How did you get into writing raps, everything?
Well, as for hip hop, music, that's just always been like before I was even born, I'm hearing music. So as far as writing my raps though, which is what y'all really want to hear, one day I was just sitting, I was bored, right? And I was like, I'm just gonna make a song. So, I had no standard, I just played the beat on a laptop and just used my voice memos and recorded it. And I'm like, I was satisfied. I was like, that's fun. So the summer before high school, just did that so much. I was dropping songs on SoundCloud, beats off of YouTube, remixing songs. So by the time I got to high school, I had like some type of experience with rapping. And that's when I just started like honing in and like perfecting my skill. But, music, it's always been in me.
That's dope.
Dope. And speaking of your skill, and speaking of honing your skill, I know that you have a lot of, like, a wide range of influence. So it's literally everybody from Gunna to Doom, and all of the rappers in between are people who you're fans of. So my question to you is, when you're sitting down to write music, because that versatility shows in your music as well, how do you make something that's going to be both catchy and also intricate at the same time? Because that's a balance that you're really good at maintaining.
Well, I just it's like a melting pot of all these influences that I am. So like, I just try to stress this just to be myself, like, because, I have it all in me. So I just try to be as natural as possible. Like, just go on there. Maybe I'll just casually just get to writing. Like, maybe I'll freestyle. Maybe I'll punch in. Maybe I'll take a notebook and write a whole song with verses, hooks. So it just varies. But as far as like versatility, it just depends on what I'm feeling. Like, all those options just depends on how I'm feeling. Yeah.
So what you mentioning, like you having a wide variety of influences, and even mentioning about your process, what pushes you even further? Like, what are the sessions that you get motivated by the most? What people who, like, beyond just, of course, like the famous MCs, but what people around you kind of help to get you to this next level? Like,
well, two of the people that helped me get to the next level are two people that I'm looking at right now.
All right. Thank you. Let's get past that answer. We can go to the next.
Yeah.
Who else do you have?
But it's about who else. But, like, just being around a lot of rappers, it just brings like a competitive side out of me. So not even just you guys, but a lot of other rappers, just when I'm in the room with them, just pushes me to be better outside of all of my favorite artists, And like, even with my friends who don't rap, sometimes we'll just make a song. And that's inspiring too. And aside from when I have to go into mixer mode instead of, get an engineer mode instead of rapper mode. But yeah, it's inspiring just watching other people rap, because I just love the culture of hip hop in general.
Word. That's dope. And in keeping with that, right, and being around rappers and being competitive, I think that what we've seen kind of in the past 10 years of hip hop is the culture and the release schedule has kind of caught up with the 24-hour news cycle, right? Yeah. So it feels like there's something new dropping, whether it's a single or a project, almost every day. Yeah. And something that I've noticed about you as well is where, a lot of people, when they graduate from high school and start getting into music right out of there, they don't necessarily know what to do. So my question to you is, given how prolific you are and how much music you put out on a regular basis, what's the inspiration for that? What keeps you creating and keeps you eager to release things to the public?
That's a good question. Like, a lot of times I feel like I'm in competition with like my past self. So like, I'd be promoting the song and I hear it and I'm like, you know what? I made that 2 days ago, but I already feel like I'm better since then. So I got to make another one. And ever since the year started, I've dropped like five songs. And in 2020, I dropped the album and the EP and like 4 singles. So I just like to, keep the refreshing music in people's heads and ears,
That's dope. So I want to switch to figure out, like, get to know Raheem the person. All right. You in your music and also in your bars, man, you drop a lot of sports references.
True.
And you know what I'm saying, especially a lot of basketball references.
That's
so I need to know, who is your top 5 of all time?
Favorite basketball players?
Yes.
I'm just gonna say this. My age is gonna really show.
Oh, let's go. Oh, we need
First
this.
two.
We need
Okay,
it.
no, not first two. My favorite player of all time though is Russell Westbrook.
All time?
Yeah, like he's inspiring to me too. Like he just always, always like giving 110%. So
Okay.
Allen Iverson, he's like
That's respect.
that's one guy that I had to learn about from YouTube. Like when I started watching basketball, he was maybe on like he was leaving the Nuggets. Maybe he was on like the Grizzlies, like I don't know, Pistons.
Yep.
But Hakeem Olajuwon is like one
solid.
old school player I really respect. James Harden, it's crazy. I like his game. He's just crazy on the court. And then I'll say, I kind of want to say like LeBron,
Okay.
but that's like.
That's the.
He's
a good answer. It's a solid answer.
Yeah,
I'm not
he's
going to
just
debate it like he's not.
like he's like my generation's Jordan. Even we live in Chicago, there's still kids who will argue LeBron over Jordan in my school. Like
How does that argument even go?
it's funny
I'm
though,
just
cause
curious.
it's just recency bias, I guess.
Okay. Okay.
But I mean, Jordan and they both have good cases. I say probably Jordan's the GOAT. His nickname is GOAT, but.
Probably. I'm sorry.
Probably.
LeBron is just like,
I'm one of them guys.
isn't he like top 10 in like points, assists, like all type of? He got most playoff points on.
Well, I don't want to
But
get
that's
into
the
the
thing.
debate.
But that's the thing, though. It's like it's not solely on the numbers. There's context
true,
that
true.
you need. You know what I
Jordan's
mean? Like the
undefeated in the
rules
finals.
are different.
Yeah,
The league
yeah.
isn't
No, it's
as
so different.
competitive as it used to be.
I really wonder how these players would do in the '90s and vice versa. Like, well, I think Wilt Chamberlain right now he'd still be going crazy.
Yeah. Oh
The
my
game
goodness.
is crazy. It's like hip hop the way it's changed.
And speaking of that, my follow-up question for you: if you could compare your rap style to the playing style of an NBA player, who would it be and why?
Well, this is funny because the first person I thought of was like Jokic, like, but that's just because I feel like I played basketball. Like I throw passes and I'm a big man, so. But he does it all on the court, and I think my versatility is like. You could compare it to that, so. He's also in the MVP conversation, so I don't want to go too far, but
He didn't even say Rookie of the Year. He said
Yeah,
MVP.
MVP, yeah,
I should have went with LaMelo Ball or something.
Nah, don't go back. Talk your talk. You know what I'm saying? Talk your talk. I ain't mad at it.
That's a funny
And while
little
I'm certainly appreciative of your humility, considering your talent, I think one of the incredible things that we're going to be seeing from you is as you kind of buy into that self-belief and really buy into the hype of how talented you are as a rapper, your career is only going to go up from here. So thank you very much for joining us, 16RAHEEM.
Appreciate
You
it.
guys are going to see examples of what I'm talking about in a moment. But for right now, we're going to throw it back to Squeak Pivot one time as we get ready to go. We'll be back in a moment. Peace.